An average of 117 people die on our nation's highways each day. On June 7, 2005, 119 lives were stolen as a result of highway crashes. Their ages ranged from 20 months old to 92 years old. Thousands die on our highways each year. What can be done to make our roads safer? It could be as simple as conducting a road safety audit, or RSA. Road safety audits are relatively inexpensive and highly effective for reducing injuries and crashes.
What an RSA is a multidisciplinary approach using an independent team to look at roadways. How can we make it safer? Federal Highway Administration has actually adopted this from several other countries. And the RSA program we see as a real tool to improving the safety on our roadways, whether they're urban, rural, or even frontier type roads.
By conducting an RSA, you're being proactive when it comes to safety.
Many state DOTs have an established traditional safety review process, but a road safety audit and a traditional safety review are different. Most importantly, an RSA is a formal safety performance examination of an existing or future road or intersection performed by an independent, multidisciplinary team of transportation professionals. An RSA is accomplished in 8 steps. Identify a project to assess, select the RSA team, conduct the startup meeting, perform field reviews, conduct analysis and prepare the report, present the findings to the project owner, prepare the formal response, and incorporate findings into the project.
I think the number one thing that I got out of it as a law enforcement officer, a public safety professional, is actually working with the engineers and the networking.
By collaborating with experts from a number of disciplines, such as traffic, maintenance, design, safety, enforcement personnel, and local officials, you can see several ways to improve a road, increase safety, and ultimately save lives.
I learned so much from the engineers of why signage is done the way it is, why lanes are striped the way that they are, that we actually investigate the crashes. We draw diagrams for every crash, and we have to draw their lines and signage and incorporate that into our crash reports.
And how easily that problem is corrected can be determined by when an RSA is conducted.
It's usually easier to correct things in the planning stages than it is after construction. So it would be cost effective for them to do a road safety audit during the planning stages than after it has been constructed.
But road safety audits are not only beneficial during the design stage of a project, they can be used in any phase of a project's development, from planning and preliminary engineering to design and construction. And making changes on existing roadways doesn't have to be expensive.
We look for low-cost types of improvements when we're doing an RSA. Things like marking, signing, guardrail where it might be needed, edge drop-offs. A lot of fatal crashes occur when vehicles leave the road and a driver overcorrects. So we try to make the roadside itself safer in addition to the road that they're traveling on.
Such low-cost solutions were implemented in Bullhead City, Arizona, near the Nevada border, where 6 fatal crashes had occurred over 3 years.
5 of those 6 crashes were vehicles that ran off the road and overturned or struck a guardrail. So we conducted an RSA with them. We looked at the road, daytime, nighttime, drove it, walked the road, and a couple things that stood out to us were edge drop-off conditions, lack of shoulders, and lack of guardrail where they had steep embankments.
By paving the shoulders, putting in rumble strips and low-growing vegetation, this portion of the roadway became much safer, reducing crashes by 50%. Sometimes an RSA recommendation can be as simple as changing or enhancing the signage on a road. In Albany, Georgia, multiple road signs confused many drivers, causing crashes.
The signage got so confusing and so jumbled up that the driver was having issues and involved in crashes trying to read the signage, and that's when they spread it out over overhead wire and gave it a lane definition. This lane corresponded with that overhead sign, and they could make the right turn then if they follow the system that they were trying to follow. It's been unbelievable that how few people get lost now when they corrected the signage issue. Not only is that a crash prevention tool, it also helps save fuel and time when the people stay on the right course.
The National Highway Traffic Safety Administration has found that rural roads can account for approximately 60% of all fatal crashes. Secondary roads often have no shoulders, no centerline stripes, and no road edge markings, making them a perfect candidate for an RSA. An RSA not only looks at the road itself, it also considers all road users, such as vehicles, pedestrians, and cyclists.
It is with an independent and universal concern for the safety of the traveling public, and that includes the walking, rolling folks in wheelchairs as well as the driving public.
Many transportation projects have some degree of pedestrian activity. An RSA in Tampa, Florida showed that by simply installing a countdown pedestrian signal could help keep pedestrians safer and reduce crashes.
Countdown pedestrian signal will help the pedestrian like you and me. When we walk through a signal location, we know we can make a good judgment should we cross the street at this moment.
A large part of the RSA process is collecting data prior to going out in the field. The Florida Department of Transportation's District 7 has incorporated the Geographic Information System, or GIS, into their RSA process. This innovative computer software collects data from crashes reported by law enforcement and the Florida Highway Patrol.
Basically, it can group all the similar information for one particular intersection. We have all kind of information like the study, the past study done within that location. So we can look at all information within the desktop. So you can make a decision very, very quickly what kind of action need to be done before you go out to the field to conduct the RSA.
Some of the major measurable benefits of an RSA include lower maintenance costs, substantially reduced reconstruction costs to correct safety deficiencies, fewer, less severe crashes, and reduced liability claims. Some state and local agencies may be hesitant to conduct RSAs to avoid any potential liability lawsuits that may come from a report. In fact, a comprehensive safety program will enable the transportation entity to manage its risks from liability in addition to improving road safety.
If you conduct an audit program and make it part of a safety program, you can use these audits as a very beneficial safety tool to show good faith effort on the part of the public by that agency. I think they can be, a very good attribute as far as legality is concerned.
The Federal Highway Administration provides several tools and resources to help agencies conduct RSAs at little to no cost. Some of these resources include RSA case studies, guidelines, software, a toolkit, and a brochure with additional information about RSAs. If you are conducting an RSA for the first time, you can take part in the peer-to-peer program. The Federal Highway Administration developed the peer-to-peer program to help walk you through the process, answer questions, and make your first RSA a success.
It was a tremendous benefit, and we just can't thank Federal Highway Administration enough for having the peer-to-peer process, because it's certainly not anything that we would have been able to budget for.
Getting started with an RSA and the peer-to-peer program is very simple. You can either send an email to this address or call this toll-free number and talk to an FHWA-sponsored peer-to-peer coordinator. The coordinator will match your agency with a transportation professional with experience and knowledge in the issues of your particular RSA. Another useful source of information if you have any questions about conducting an RSA is LTAP, the Local Technical Assistance Program.
Our primary focus is with local agencies to improve safety on local roads, but also to provide a transfer of technology that we have access to provide training, workshops, materials, things of that nature that will help local agencies do their job better, particularly focusing on safety.
By scrutinizing roadways for safety issues, transportation professionals have a unique opportunity to help reduce traffic fatalities and injuries that occur on our nation's roadways each year.
We've been working and really pushing the RSA program now for about the last 4 years. We're seeing roads being changed, we're seeing improvements, getting telephone calls from folks that are saying, we've been able to save lives already. We've been able to reduce the crashes. That's significant.
The Road Safety Audit program is truly gaining momentum from Maine to California with the goal of improving safety with a low-cost, proactive, and independent approach.
In my view, the primary benefits out of RSAs for the future DOT is all about better information, focused decision-making, and fewer fatalities. I'm confident, based on my 40 years in the business, that what I see in this tool gives us that new added edge that we haven't had before.
With 117 people dying on our nation's highways each day, it's time to take a new approach. Road safety audits are a tool you can use to make your roadways safer. For more information about the Federal Highway Administration's Road Safety Audit Program, visit the RSA website.